Welcome to a virtual hard hat tour of our progress here at the United Theater. Grab your hard hat, and here we go. We like to start here in the original lobby of the United Theater building. The United Theater was built in 1926 as a vaudeville theater and then turned into a full-time movie theater in the 1950s and closed indefinitely in 1986. The part of the building that we're standing in right now is the original theater itself. And like I said, this is the original lobby. If you look off to the sides, there were walls along both of these two window front areas. And right now, obviously, we've taken down the walls because we're adding components on each storefront side of the theater. The opening that you see right here leads directly into the next door restaurant, which is going to become a part of the United Theater complex. A great place to grab lunch or dinner or a quick bite before popping in to see a movie or a show at the theater. This first storefront area is going to be a bureau for the Public's Radio, Rhode Island's NPR station. From here, there will be active reporters and bureau managers working day to day to create news stories for the southern Rhode Island region. There'll be a wall about right here, and where you see the floor is dipped down, we are putting in a soundproof audio booth. An exciting thing that we're doing with the Public's Radio is we're also creating a podcast education program for kids and adults, and that's something we're very excited about. This identical storefront window on the other side is actually going to become a micro cinema, which is a 24-seat small movie theater. This small micro cinema will be equipped with digital cinema sound and projection, and we will be using this as one of 3 cinema spaces on the property for first-run films, and we're also going to be using this for our youth and adult film education programs, and it's also a great place for local filmmakers and local students to showcase their work. Now we're going to move through the original lobby area, which again will become part of our main lobby. And we're going to move into our main auditorium, which was the original auditorium for the theater. You can see we have scaffolding here, but the ceiling is quite high. And what you don't see is below this platform that I am standing on, the floor is actually graded because there were originally fixed seats throughout the theater. What we're doing is we're extending this platform to each wall along the sides, and then we're extending it out towards the original stage, which is at the end of the platform right now. This is going to open up the entire room to be one big flat surface, and we're using that as a black box auditorium space. The reason we're using the black box model is because black box auditoriums, as opposed to fixed seat auditoriums, allow us to have great versatility for the kind of events that we showcase here in the theater. We'll be doing everything from live music to theater to dance, lectures, and everything in between in this space. The versatility allows us to do everything from standing room only concerts, for which we can have about an audience of 600 people. We can do theater in the round. We can do dance with seats and seated risers along the sides. The black box model actually allows us to do virtually anything we want to do in the space. Now, if you look up here, that's the original balcony for the cinema. This will be the only area that will have fixed seats. There will be about 100 seats up in the balcony when all is said and done. And when the auditorium is not used, there will be a large cinema screen with an acoustic curtain and cinematic sound that come down from the ceiling and cordon off the balcony area, essentially turning it into a cinema space all its own. This allows us to use this space more frequently and to be able to show movies here when we're not doing live concerts or plays in the main auditorium. Now, if we walk back through the lobby, you'll see that this opening leads to the next door building, which was originally a Montgomery Ward department store, and it's now part of the United Theater Arts Complex. When you walk through this area, it's an extension of our lobby. So the first thing you see when you walk through is going to be a long concession area, and then off to the left is a multi-purpose space we have here along the window. You'll notice that there is a stage on the window front, which we are keeping. This was an original storefront display area for the Montgomery Ward department store. We're turning this into an impromptu space for live events, for our music school students to perform. We can do everything from comedy shows to private parties in this area. We're keeping the ceiling heights as they are, and we're walling this area out so it can also be a gallery space for art shows and things like that. Now back along this area, there's going to be a long bar, which will be our concession area where we'll serve popcorn and candy, soda, beer, wine, and all kinds of interesting things. And then beyond that, there'll be a wall in this whole area where you see the floor looks a little different. The floor looks different because that is all soundproof material that's been laid down, because this is going to be our third cinema space. This is our full-time cinema space, our main cinema as we call it. And there will be about 85 seats in this area. Again, it will be a first-run cinema. Now, the scaffolding along the back wall that you see here, those will be bathrooms. And then as we walk further down, you can see the area back there with some green along the wall. That's actually going to be a green room when all is said and done. And that green room will connect into our main auditorium space for use by performers. In the back corner here, we have the original elevator shaft for the theater, which is being reconstructed, and we will be putting in a new elevator that will extend from the back parking lot where we're building a new back entryway all the way down to our music school, which we'll get to in a few minutes. You can see we've opened this area up. We'll be putting a window up here for a nice natural light well to let natural light into the building throughout the day. Upstairs from where I'm standing right now will be our offices, and then downstairs we're going into our music and arts education center. You can see as we enter this space, a lot of the framing is being done currently. A lot of this has just been done in the last couple of weeks actually. And this is the main area for our music school. You can see the elevator actually comes down to this space. There'll be a nice welcoming lobby and desk area with our music school staff working in this area. And then in all of these rooms you see off to the side that are being framed up right now are everything from music practice rooms of various sizes to classroom spaces that can be used for everything from music school programs to the podcast education and film and media programs that we're doing, as well as some of the fine arts education offerings we'll be providing. You can see this is quite a large space, and once we're up and running, we look forward to each one of these spaces being full of students and activity on a daily basis. Walking further into the room, we are now directly below the theater itself, actually below the theater lobby. This area will be partially storage and also an extension of our education program facilities. And we've also opened up the basement to connect into the restaurant next door for more storage and flexibility and more seamless integration between the restaurant and the theater complex itself. So that's it. That's our progress. We've come a long way, and every day we come a lot further. Thank you for joining us on this hard hat tour, and we look forward to doing some in-person hard hat tours again later this summer.